Hi, this is Joni Lindquist with Aspire Wealth Partners, and I'm an executive and career coach and certified financial planner with Aspire Wealth Partners, where we help people master what's next in both their career and their financial life. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about negativity and the power that can have over us if we're not careful, because we're certainly living in a time where there's a lot of negative news and a lot of negative situations. So let's be aware of that. So the first thing that we have to remember is that our brains are wired for two things. One, we are wired for survival, and this is the fight or flight situation. Back when we were cavemen and cavewomen, it was when a risk appeared, we had to decide, are we going to fight it or are we going to flee? And we're wired that way. And then secondly, we're also wired to be naturally negative because it goes back to survival and risk management and always looking out for what's risky, where am I in danger, where am I in peril. So we tend to be negative. And it's important for us to know that because we can get buried in negative news right now or negative situations that's happening in our lives, whether it's hearing about the stock market going down or about job losses or friends and family that have lost their jobs, or if you had loved ones who've had to deal with the COVID-19 and the actual virus and have been sick. So a lot of negativity right now. So let's learn to balance that. So I like to think of the brain. We see lots of pictures about the brain and the different sections of the brain. I like to think of the brain this way, which shows a series of networks and network connections. And because when I talk about wiring, our brain is wired with neurons and neuropeptides. And so it's really a connection of a whole bunch of roadways, if you will. So the interesting thing that neuroscientists have found is that in our brain, each of these neuropeptides are associated with a specific emotion. So if you're feeling happiness or glee, there's a neuropeptide associated with that. If you're feeling fear or uncertainty, there's an emotion and there's a neuropeptide associated with that fear. And what they're finding is that neuropeptides regenerate themselves. So the more you focus on it, the more they regenerate. So if you're feeling fearful, the more neuropeptides occur and the more you feel negative. So it leads you to a downward cycle. So it's important for us to understand how our brain works. Because if we're already in situations that are negative and then we're listening to negative news, reading negative articles, this really can lead to a downward spiral. So just going to talk about a couple tips to combat negativity today and to deal with this. So the first thing, like anything, is to be aware of this negativity and how we are naturally wired for this. And so when we're paying attention to the negative news medias and outlets, if you listen to the news every day and hear those negative things, be aware that you are inputting a lot of negative into a brain that's already wired to sort of accept that, engulf it, and consume it. So being aware of that, then we need to be more proactive and seek balance. So we need to make sure that we expand our sources of information to things that are more either realistic, optimistic, positive, so that we get a balancing viewpoint. And this is important because if you go with a positive, it can regenerate versus always feeding negative, which is going to regenerate. So we have to go sometimes out of our way to find some of these more positive views or silver linings to some of the situations we are dealing with. But I know in talking to a lot of my friends right now, we are talking about what we have learned in this pandemic and working from home and the situations and how there's silver linings in this, whether it's spending more time with family, it's maybe getting an exercise routine, it's limiting your commuting time, which was frustrating to you. So there are silver linings in this, not that life is beautiful right now. However, we can focus on some of those positives. It really can set us into a different mindset. So look for those balance items. Thirdly is reframing information that you do consume. So you can choose to either think about something negatively or positively. I've been telling myself every morning when I get up that we are one day closer to finding a vaccine for the COVID-19. So we are one day closer. That's a more positive view than getting up every morning and saying, this is day 62 of my stay-at-home shelter. Don't want to think about that. That's more of a negative situation versus thinking about the positive. We are one day closer to a solution. We've got lots of smart people focused on that, so we are closer. So that reframing it puts me in a positive mood, regenerates those positive emotions in my body, so that in my brain. So that's how you can reframe the information you do take in and look for the silver linings in the news that you are absorbing. And then fourthly is repeat. So regenerate the positive. So along with getting positive and reframing, then keep building on that. So you send yourself into a positive cycle versus a downward spiral with negative. So the more you repeat positive input, the more your brain's going to feed on that versus feeding your brain just all the negative right now. This won't make everything go away. It's just a way to balance ourselves out so that we don't go into downward spirals with all the negativity that is around us right now. So stay healthy, stay safe, and good luck with this. Take care.